Hello to all my students of second year BBA HFM studying 306 HRM Chapter 1. So far we have covered the meaning and definition of HRM. We've also done the evolution of HRM as we know it today. In this short session, we'll be studying the characteristic or the traits of HR and the need and importance of HRM in the industry today. So here are the characteristics of HRM. HRM is a science. What we say is that HR, like any other science, is basically coming to a law which is universal. It is tried and tested not in a lab but in practical life with human beings. It is a positive science and is a normative science which deals with how things should be or how things are. This is universal and applicable everywhere with human beings. The second point is HRM is employee oriented, which means that all the functions of HR are pertaining to the employees, the internal customers. It's very important to keep employees in mind when the HR is taking any decisions, as it's going to impact the employees and the employees will in turn impact the business. So HR is employee centric. Coming to the next characteristic, HR is individual oriented, which means HR considered each and every individual to be an important person. It is the role of the HR to ensure that every employee in the organization is inclusive and is taken care of. You cannot let alone a few employees or a few cadres. You have to get everyone included and look for the welfare and well-being of each and every employee working with you. The next characteristic of HR is that it's a comprehensive function, which means that it applies to each and every level of the organization, irrespective of top management or a first line employee. It applies to everybody. So it is all in that sense. HRM is a staff function. As we studied in management, it is the responsibility of the HR and also the responsibility of every manager to ensure that his staff is taken care of. Okay, HR, as we know, is an operating department, non-revenue producing department. It does not impact manufacturing or sales directly. It does not contribute to the profits directly, but indirectly definitely impacts the business. Why? Because if the employees are happy, they will do their work well, and if they do their work well, it's going to be good for the organization to achieve its goals. Whereas an unhappy employee, an employee with a low morale, an employee who is not happy with the organization, is dissatisfied with the organization and his work, will negatively impact the business. So it's the responsibility of the HR to ensure that employees are taken care of. It's also the responsibility of various other operational departments to ensure that the people in their team are taken care of. So it is an important line and staff function. It is relevant not only in HR but relevant in every department which is operating. The next characteristics is that HR is a continuous function. It means that HR, there's no start and end to an HR. An HR is ongoing, right from before the employee joins the organization to the time he joins the organization till the time he is with the organization, when he leaves the organization, and even after he leaves the organization, the cycle continues. So it's a continuous, there is a whole continuum to the HRM. HR is also a challenging function. It is challenging because it deals with people. and people change and people are different. It is very subjective and definitely relative. So HR is not very predictable, though there are certain laws which apply to all depending upon the psyche of the person and the changing times. HR also changes, or HRM practices also call for a change. The next is HR is pervasive. It is everywhere. It is a part of the system. It is a part of the subsystem. HR is relevant to all the departments in an organization. It could be front of the house departments, it could be back of the house departments, it could be functions like HR, it could be operations, it could be anywhere. All departments, irrespective of what work they are doing, HR functions are relevant and they are practiced. So HR is everything. Next we come to development oriented. HR is to do not only with recruitment and selection, but it is actually responsible to ensure that employees get developed, they grow, they enrich themselves when they are a part of the organization. This in terms leads to satisfaction of the employees. It also creates, leads to goal achievement of goals for the organization, and more importantly the entire human resource of the nation is impacted because they definitely develop themselves and grow from where they were. So HRM is concerned with development of. The next is that HRM is a part of the management discipline. It is a management science like we have seen earlier, and it is also directed to achieve goals. Now coming to the scope of HRM. When we say scope, it means where does HR start and where does HR end? What all does HRM encompass? So as I have said earlier, HRM starts from before the employee even joins the organization. It is there when he enters the organization. HRM is there when the employee spends time with the organization. HR is there when the employee is leaving the organization and also sometimes after he's left. So the scope is very wide as far as HRM is concerned. It also is vast and it's growing even more. It is a system of mutually dependent parts. When we talk about HR, we talk about HR being a system and the subsystems. And all subsystems are dependent on each other. It is a proactive system. It aims at increasing the capability of frontline managers. It also does a lot to do with the right work culture of the organization. So the work culture, how people are, is very important, and HR has a very big role to play with it. In fact, based on the climate and culture of the organization, the morale of the employee is. So it's very important to HR to shape the culture of a workplace. It also has a lot to do with the utilization and motivation of employees for improved performance, which means that employees have to be well utilized, optimally utilized, ensured that they're taken care of, yet they perform well. Most importantly, they are constantly motivated, they are encouraged. There is a lot of room for them to improve upon themselves. This is part of HR. Now we talk about the need for HR. Why do we need it? We need HR to make sure that employees are competent. When we say competent means there are three things which are involved here, and these three things are K, which is for knowledge, S, which is for skills, and A, which is for aptitude. So when we talk about a competent employee, is an employee who has the knowledge required for the job, he has the skills required for the job, and he has the right attitude to carry on the job. Competency comes at the time of recruitment, then during selection, and once the employee is on board, then training and development to ensure that his competency grows with the changing times. Another need is for role clarity. When we talk about role clarity means in an organization, every employee has a role to play. So here it's important that we have the job description which is made by the HR. You have the job specification which is made by the HR, which is based on job analysis and job evaluation. Apart from that, we have a task list which is created for every role. This particular role clarity is given by the HR to be implemented in the department. Commitment towards the workforce. The sense of commitment for a workplace comes through being loyal to one's organization, and the loyalty is an emotion which actually stems from various things, and HR has an important role to play. So when you are satisfied with your work, so satisfaction. Apart from satisfaction, commitment will and loyalty will also come if you're taken care of. So a welfare function is important. And HR is the one which is very crucial for satisfaction and welfare of the employees. Moving on, greater trust and respect. When we talk about trust and respect, it is to do with the culture of the organization, and the culture of the organization leads to morale of the employees. A positive morale is motivating for the employee to continue and be more productive for longer. And synergy is the effect. When we say synergy is a give and take, so the employee gets something and he gives back something, so that kind of synergy is very important, which is built continuously by the. Synergy effect is also the interaction of two or more forces so that their combined energy is greater than the sum of the individual effects as a result of effective communication and participation. So this was synergy effect, which I just spoke about. Moving on, it breaks the resistance to change. When we say resistance to change is that people who are taken into confidence, HRM makes people better equipped with problem-solving competencies. It makes them more proactive and ready to accept change. So it's very important for HR to take people in confidence so that the employees are less resistant to the changes in the organization and outside the organization. Moving ahead, HR is also important because it facilitates HR planning. So this is the next point, okay? Sorry. So it facilitates the HR planning. By this, we mean that HRM generates useful data on employees, which facilitates HR planning. What we are trying to say is that when employees come together, they give a lot of information which helps the HR in planning the HR functions. Then we have other benefits. Other benefits of HR will include higher productivity of the employees, lowering of costs of operations. It leads to growth, it leads to diversification, and most importantly, innovation at a workplace. Now we talk about importance of HR. Since we've already spoken about the need of HR, it highlights the importance of HR, which is to maximize from the resources. And here the resource is people. Maximize from your employees in the best effective possible way. So you are paying reasonable compensation, competitive compensation, not under compensation, but at the same time you're getting the value for what you're paying for in terms of attaining the goals through the employees. It also strikes a balance between the jobs available and between the job seekers. Okay, so the demand and supply of the labor is managed by the HRM. It also eliminates improper usage of any. Going ahead with the importance of HRM, I continue. It provides suitable and most productive employment which gives satisfaction to the employees. If employees are taken care of, they are in a position to perform better, they are more productive, they are more efficient, and that in turn leads to their satisfaction and achievement of the organization's goals. It also provides healthy working relationship in the organization. HRM ensures that there is good morale in the organization. The culture of the organization is friendly. People have good relationships with each other. If there's any complaint, it's handled. If there's any grievance, it's taken care of. So overall, whenever you have positive work relationships, it impacts the emotions of people at work. They enjoy their work more, and they are more, in turn, they are better workers. It also maintains the dignity of employees as human beings. I mean, what can one say about it? HR's main thing is to take care of people, to give them the dignity, to give them the safety, to give them the security, to give them good work environment, to genuinely take care of the people who are working with you. So that's important. Continuing with the importance of HR, it improves the employees' working skills and capacity. We've spoken about competencies, we've spoken about training and development. So definitely the employees improve upon themselves, provides maximum opportunities for development, proper allocation of work to people and avoid wrong posting. So manpower planning is very important. Ensuring there is a right fitment of the person to the job is so important to ensure that he is capable of doing the job. Yeah, and whenever such a match is made, nothing can go wrong. Yeah, and creating the right attitude amongst the employees through various motivating activities. So you have to keep engaging your employees to keep them motivated towards their